Hey, what's going on, guys? Run Turkey here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm back from the dead. I've been pretty busy recently, but I'm back to playing Sorcery. I've got a really cool deck to show you guys I've been having a lot of fun with. We're playing Flamecaller today, and this is going to be kind of a control combo deck, I like to think of it as. It doesn't always work out that way. We're going to get into it, but first let's take a look at Flamecaller. He's our avatar. He's got tap, play or draw a site as usual. His special ability is that he can tap, banish your dead fire minions, and then you shoot a projectile. It deals damage equal to the sum of their fire attunement. So Flamecaller is going to ask you to be pretty heavy into fire, and specifically to run a lot of fire minions. We've got 24 minions total. Only 3 of them are not fire, so that's 21 fire minions, and we try to like max out the attunement there. We have a lot of like double attunement guys. The big point of this deck, the fun part, is we're playing Doomsday Prophet, who is a unique unit who I think gets pretty overlooked right now. He's like not great, honestly. He's like 5 mana, 1 power. He dies to just about anything. I mean, like a desert can ping him and kill him. A 5-drop that dies to a landfall trigger is typically not where you want to be. But when you look into him more and more, you start to realize that he's got some pretty cool like synergies with fire. It says they take double damage. Nearby units take double damage except from strikes. When I was first looking at this guy, my mind immediately went to like magic spells, like lightning bolt or like fire bolts. But it doesn't have to be like it's just any amount of damage except strikes. And so what we want to do is with Flamecaller, we want like our minions to die. We're going to build up a lot of fire minions in the cemetery. We have 1 Jihad and 1 Summoning Sphere in here that we can hopefully just drop a Prophet near the enemy avatar. And if we have line of sight, and our blinks will help us get that, we can just tap Flamecaller, like banish like 7, 8, 9 fire attunement out of our cemetery, and Doomsday Prophet will double that because it's an ability. It's not a spell, but it's an ability and it's not a strike. So you can just like dome the opponent for like 16, 18, 20 with just like drop Doomsday Prophet, tap Flamecaller. The other synergy there is that like we kind of just have some fire minions who deal damage without having to strike. So Infernal Legion, who's a bomb of a unit actually. The more I've been playing this deck, I didn't really play this guy like before, but I mean he's really good actually. 6 mana, 6 power, and at the end of turn, he deals 3 to each other adjacent unit. It's very common that I'll play him and just remove like 2 or 3 units like that turn. It can be really strong. The Colicky Dragonettes, who at the end of turn, they just shoot a projectile, they deal 1 damage. Doesn't like, doubling 1 doesn't matter too much, but these guys are just good units. Very good in Death Speaker, where you're able to just ping away their wizards and land surveyors every turn. And the Sacred Scarabs, who their death right, that will get doubled by the Prophet. So you could play the Scarabs like on top. If you have the Summoning Sphere Jihad, you can play them on top of the enemy avatar. And if you find a way to kill them, you could just crash them into the avatar. That death right will be 6. I had one game where I managed to, this was a lot of uniques lining up, but like I had Jihad on top of the enemy avatar. I had a Vesuvius that happened to be nearby the enemy avatar. And what I was able to do was play my Prophet near them, shoot Flamecaller for something. It wasn't a lot. It was like 8 damage doubled. Like it was 4 and then it doubled to 8. But then like Vesuvius, I blew that up. It dealt 6 to the avatar. It also dealt 6 to the Scarabs. And then the Scarabs dealt 6 to the avatar too. So it was just like these massive chunks of damage that like came out of nowhere, all from the Doomsday Prophet. And then it was nice because the Prophet and the Scarabs went into my cemetery. So I even had like kind of lethal for the next turn, assuming my opponent couldn't do anything. Aside from that, yeah, so it's like we're all in on the Doomsday Prophet. We want to drop him nearby. We want to like splash around some damage and get like a big kind of like combo turn where we're just like dealing damage with a bunch of abilities. We have one wildfire as kind of another way to do that, but I'm not too big on. I was kind of just testing it out. I wouldn't recommend it. Some of this deck, the more that this deck I'm showing you is the deck that I'm going to be playing in the video. But through playing it more and more, I've realized some cards you probably don't need like all three salamanders. You could probably cut one, even a scarab. I wouldn't. I like having three for the one falconer to kind of always, you'll always have a scarab in your deck for the falconer, but I don't think it matters too much. I think you can go to two there. I cut the lightning bolts completely. I was adding like cavalry just to have more fire minions. But I don't know. I still do like having lightning bolts. Being able to hit something anywhere is very nice. And then I'm thinking even a death dealer in the top end because sometimes you can get swarmed pretty, especially a lot of sorcerer decks where they just don't stop. Like we try to slow it down as much as we can with the poison novas, the disintegrates. Infernal Legion can be really good at clearing a good chunk of the board, but sometimes it's just not enough. And I think maybe a death dealer in the top end is pretty good. I like to get to 7 mana, and then once I'm at 7 mana, that's kind of where I'll chill. But also in the Atlas here. So I built this deck on paper before I started playing it, and like when I was putting it on Curiosa, I put in 3 shifting sands. You do not need 3 shifting sands. You could easily like go to 1, and like on paper, I know I have Crossroads in those 2 slots, but you could also add Watchtowers if you care more about air attunement, and just Watchtower is good infiltrate tech. But we're generally just playing 1 air attunement stuff, and we are only the Grandmaster Wizard for the draw power is 2 air attunement. So that is the deck. That's the strategy. We're going for Doomsday Prophet shenanigans. I'm going to get some games in and record them, show them to you guys, showcase the deck. And I hope you guys enjoy. And if you like the video, you like this deck, you want to see more ideas in the future, be sure to leave a like, comment if you got something to say, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you have a wonderful... Okay, so we're going to get into the first game here. We are on the play. We're looking at the mulligan. We're going to keep those dragonettes, mulligan, the blink, and the strider. Strider is a good unit, but doesn't really help the game plan that we're going for. Blink, I'll always mulligan because I have 4 of them in the deck. I'm pretty confident I'll draw into another one. And then I basically will just mulligan sites, looking for air attunement and my unique. So happy to see that River of Flame. The desert might come up later, but yeah, we'll play the ruins for turn. We want to try to get that River of Flame in a good spot. And the desert we would like to play when the damage will matter. So opponent is playing an Oasis. So they're playing Sorcerer, and that Oasis is going to tell me that they're not doing like the normal Fury Road stuff. They're going to be doing something a little different, which is always cool. We're going to see a tower. Might just play that because, again, we want to save the desert for like to make use of the damage. We're not going to make use of this like extra mana from the tower, but that's okay. And we'll just pass. And on next turn, we could maybe play the River of Flame on one of those diagonal tiles from our Flamecaller. That's usually a good spot to put it. And then we can play a Dragonette for the turn. That could be good. Or if our opponent plays like a 1-drop or even a 2-power thing, we could like Desert Ping it, and then the Dragonettes would be able to kill it. We'll see what they do. So yeah, they're going to play Scorpions there, and then that will be pretty good for this desert. And then we drop the Dragonettes. Ooh, Violent actually also takes care of that. But I think I like the desert more, just because we have to get something out of it. We can save that Imp for later. It's always nice when you can play the desert and have it matter. And we'll play the Dragonettes in the front. We could have played it back, and it would have been safer there. It still would have killed the Scorpions. But in the front, they're able to kind of threaten some damage next turn. So opponent's going to draw a spell. We're looking at that Wildfire in hand. They're moving up, which is very Interesting. Sorcerer tends to be pretty stationary, but he's going to polymorph. So he moves up to get into polymorph range. Dragonets get banished. We leave behind a frog. And then we're going to... I kind of like the idea of drawing a spell and tapping for a site here and just sticking at 3 mana. Ooh, seeing that Jihad is very nice. I think that's what we're going to do. We do have a good spot for the River of Flame. I like to tap for sites like once or twice throughout a game with Flamecaller just because, oh yeah, no, that River of Flame right there is actually a really good spot right on the opponent's side of the board. And then with 4 mana, well, we could go like Jihad, Violent, hit for 2, have a 3-power imp. That could be pretty good. We're taking our time here. I think it's always, yeah, Jihad for 2, and then imp. Deal 2 there. We have a 3-power imp on top of him. I think the only reason I took a while there was maybe I'm thinking about saving the imp for when, like, I like to, we have a lot of damage in this, like little bits of damage, 2, 1, 3 every now and then, and adding that up is like our primary way of killing big things. So I think I might have been thinking like, oh, I can hold on to this imp, and maybe when he plays like a 4-power unit, I can use that plus something else. But I mean, drawing that Jihad right there, it's just like so good. And opponent played a river. He's scrying. He kept a card on top. Looks like he made a mistake there with the draw too, but it's okay. And then he's cast a Firebolt. That will be enough to take care of the imp. It'll be 3 damage total. And well, he's got 1 mana left. Probably won't do too much with that. It's going to go to us. Again, I kind of like draw spell, tap for sight here. And seeing that Sandworm is like pretty okay because we have 4 mana. Opponent is like all water sites actually though, so Sandworm's not going to be too threatening, which is a little sad. But regardless, he's a very beefy defender. And then I guess we're looking at the Wildfire is the other option. We could also cast Blink just to cycle it. I'm not too big on that. I really like to save my Blinks for when the movement matters. So if I can avoid blinking to cycle, I try to. I think we should probably just drop the Sandworm, but it looks like we're just going to pass. Sometimes there's value in keeping your cards hidden. Okay, they're going to play another Oasis. So they're pretty, yeah, they're Water Fire Sorcerer, which is always interesting. Maybe they're playing Boil. And then he tries to play an Awakened Mummies, but that's a water site. Oasis, right, is a water, so you can't summon them on a water site. And your opponent then realizes he has nothing but water sites. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because I'm looking at this Sandworm in my hand, and I can't do anything with it. So we're going to draw a spell. We could play the desert. We could honestly just tap for another site. I don't think we're, like, hurting. We have a pretty, like, do-nothing hand right now. These Sandworms have no area to attack. Wildfire would ultimately on this board just be a 4 mana deal 3. And like I'm looking for more with Wildfire, so I'm not too eager to cast it right now. So we will tap. It looks like we'll play the desert, which is like totally okay. We're just getting our mana up. And then I do think I would like to see the Sandworm get played, but okay, we're gonna blink in place, and I think yeah, that's an okay time to do it when we're not doing anything else. And we see Infernal Legion, who is pretty nasty, and dropping him on that Jihad right next to Sorcerer is gonna be a big deal. He's gonna wish he had that polymorph. Okay, yeah, so he plays a Smokestacks, and that's pretty good. He shuts off my River of Flame. And then he can finally burrow his two mummies. He's got two of them there. So we're going to untap. We got to think, if we draw a sight, we can play this Infernal Legion this turn. If we draw a spell, it gives us more action, and we can tap for a sight, and then we'll have Infernal Legion like next turn. Of course, yeah, Sandworm does look pretty good right now because they're bigger than the mummies and the burrowing. So we can drop that Sandworm. The Smokestacks finally like gives us a land site that we can attack. And we'll just pass. Alright, so on opponent's turn, they're going to play Violimp. They're going to kill my little frog token, which is okay. And that's it. They'll just pass. Keep the mummies where they are. And yeah, that's fine because the mummies can like block my Sandworm together. And so I'm going to draw a spell for turn. We have that land in hand for the Disenchant. Not looking like it's going to do much in this matchup, so that's kind of sad. But it's okay. It's the price we pay for having answers to things. So it looks like we're contemplating if we want to play Legion or not. Outback Strider is a little sad against the water sites, but like it's fine. Wildfire would be able to deal 3 and kill this imp, and it looks like that's what I'm eyeing. We're gonna tap for a site because yeah, like again, playing a desert without the damage mattering does kind of feel sad. So we can get to 6 on another turn. We'll play the Wildfire for 4. At the end of turn, it will kill the imp, and it will deal 3 to the opponent. And then we're going to move the Wildfire, and we're going to have a lot of fun cloning these token burned things. So right now I think there's only a Violimp in the cemetery, so the Flamecaller ability is only going to deal 1 because that polymorph, he banished my Dragonette. Kind of at a point where if we could like find a Prophet and then play Legion next turn, drop a Prophet, maybe these Sandworms die or somebody, we could have like a really big damage chunk with this like Jihad where it is. Now he's got 3 awakened mummies, and he kind of just starts like moving them, and I'm like, I don't think that's how the mummies are supposed to play, but it's okay. You know, mummies, they don't see a lot of love, so if you're gonna play them, you know, have fun with them. He played a bridge troll though, and that's like a really scary dude because I mean, I've seen some decks where like you play Mask of Mayhem and you like force your opponent to attack the bridge troll to like take all their mana at the start of turn, and it's really nasty when it happens. But we draw a lightning bolt off the top, which immediately I'm just like, let's get rid of that bridge troll. I don't want to deal with any of that. It does put us to only 3 for the turn, so we could like play the Strider. We're not in range to disintegrate anything. We could tap for a site at this point. Tap to play a site, I meant. I don't know if we really want to, like, there's no harm in drawing another site. But we're only at 5. I would kind of like to get to 6. 7 is kind of like the nice spot. So it's like at 5, we're still 2 turns away from being at 7. We will play the Strider here. He's going to be at 4 power, even though he's on a water site and he's a little less good. He is 4 power, and that's pretty nice. And then, yeah, we do tap to draw a site. We get a Ruins, which is like a site that I will just play when I have the availability, because Ruins isn't going to do anything on its Genesis. So opponent taps, they're going to play River. They're at 6 mana, a really nice number to be at with Sorcerer. They might start getting to the draw 2 spells a turn thing. Draw 2, play 2. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to move my Wildfire. So we're going to move it there. My Sandworm will take a damage from it, but if he doesn't attack with his mummies, then it's not going to matter at all. And he decides to continue burrowing, or like continue moving down underground. And he plays a turtle. Now, the turtle is pretty cool because you can't, the first instance of damage won't affect it. Unfortunately, it's not in range of any desert-like pings, which is what I love to do against turtles. Just ping them with a desert and then like play a violin. But what we could do if we go to 6 mana this turn, we could attack the turtle with Strider. Alright, well, now that the mummies are off Smokestacks, I will just swing for 4. We could drop Infernal Legion where the Strider is to kill the turtles. Oh wait, that would kill the Strider actually though. So we're going to move out of the Jihad to hit for 3 and avoid any blocks from the turtle. I think we're just going to have to let him hang out for a bit. We could play the Salamander, and the Salamander could disintegrate. But then maybe I'm just tunneling really hard on these turtles. And it's not like they're the biggest threat to me. We're at 6 mana. We could play an Infernal Legion. We could play it either on top of his avatar or on that Oasis to prevent ourselves from hurting any of our units. The Sandworm can like take 3 and he'll be fine. We do got the Salamander. Salamander we could use as a chump blocker for those mummies. And like we could play him on the tower maybe. Now I think right now we're talking about Wildfire with the Salamanders, because it's like Salamanders don't take damage from fire spells. I'm like, well, it is a spell, right? Because it's like in the spell book. Basically, we play that like, yeah, the Salamanders aren't going to take damage from the Wildfire, but I found out later that that is incorrect. That spells are only spells while they're being cast, and that the salamander should die to wildfire at the end of turn here. But you live and you learn. Move the wildfire there. We're feeling pretty good here. He's got like a lot of mummies underground, but he's at 8. And like I could attack with sandworms to put him to 4. And then if he moves that turtle at all, that Strider can attack the river into the Jihad for 4. And like we put him on door next turn just like that. We could also just like attack for 7, like the units where they are, and play Infernal Legion and get there too. So feeling pretty good. This one feels almost won. He's going to play a camel, which is a very interesting choice. And then he'll move to attack for 2 with the turtles. I just take it. And then he's going to attack with the mummies. I'll block 1, and I'll take 3. All right, and then he's going to unburrow with the other mummy. So we're looking at 6 damage, which we have no problem taking. Now, one thing, did I not block with... Oh, did they just move? Perhaps they just unburrowed without attacking. That would be strange. But if that is what they did, because I haven't affected my life at all. This Infernal Legion is like looking so massive, right? We're going to tap, play a desert, ping those turtles, drop the Infernal Legion right there, and then we're just clearing out these mummies. We're clearing out the turtles. We're clearing out the camel, and we're putting 3 on the opponent. And then like, oh, did not mean to put that to my hand. And then like we're just attacking for 7, and the 3 from the Legion puts him at door, and like we've just got so much more on board than he does. Right, so yeah, so we play that adjacent to the River of Flame. We ping away the turtle ability, and we drop an Infernal Legion. And then at end of turn, it's going to deal 3 to the mummies. It's going to deal 3 to the turtle, the camel, and the sorcerer. And we're getting the, like, we're taking 5 cards out of his board right now. And we'll lose a salamander, but okay. And we've got this 6-power unit adjacent to him. We've got the Strider on his right. Sandworm won't really be able to affect his oases at all, his water sites. But he's going to need, at the very least for right now, he's going to need a way to kill Infernal Legion and a way to stop this line of sight that I have, because I do have just the Flamecaller projectile lined up right now. And John Ruby Core is not what you want in this spot. So it looked like he tapped 3 mana here. Let's see what he's playing. He's tapping, what is that, 5 mana now. So he's going to play Backstab. And this is actually pretty cool. Not a card I've seen. Like, this is my first time seeing Backstab, but he actually gets to target my Infernal Legion to strike the Sandworm. And so he gets, like, move the Legion while killing my Sandworm. And then he can immolate pretty good to kill the Legion. And he is, like, he never solved the line of sight issue, which is the issue for him. And then we actually draw the Doomsday Prophet off the top, which is like, once you're outdoor, it doesn't matter. But, I mean, I'm glad I get to show it. Yeah, we get to shoot him for probably at least 8. I know there's, no, probably 10. There's a Legion, an Imp, and a Sandworm in there. And a Salamander, actually. So 14. That was a 14 damage Flamecaller Blast. And that's going to be us taking this game. Let's get into the next. Alright, so in this game, we're facing off against another Sorcerer deck. We're playing Potato Knight, who is one of my favorite people in the community to play against. We're going to FOMO our hand looking for uniques. We kind of like this hand, though. It's all minions. The Falconer is going to be able to grab us Scarabs. We got the Vile Imp, and the Manticore as kind of like a top end. A good, like, mid-game unit to come down and answer a ton of threats. We'll drop the Ruins, so we're pretty happy with this hand. We see Air Attunement, and we see River of Flame. We're going to untap. It looks like he is playing Water Air with the Lighthouse. We can play Tower. Yeah, we'll want to save that Desert for when the damage matters. But, oh, maybe not. Maybe we decide we do want to ramp. I guess having the Tower, we could play that on 4 and get the Manticore out a turn early. So we'll play the Falconer and get a Scarab. And then we get to shuffle. And we pass turn. So opponent plays an Updraft Ridge on their side. So they're playing a bit like defensively here. They're not going to complete the bridge. They're gonna have us move forward. It's gonna kind of come back to hurt them though, because we have this River of Flame in hand, and having that right against their Sorcerer is going to hurt them. And if we can get like a Vesuvius later, that would be so nice. But yeah, we'll play that River of Flame. Probably just move the Scarabs up. I like to keep the Falconer back as a chump blocker. He kind of does his job of getting the Scarabs, and then he is just like a dude who will block for us. No reason. I don't want to play Imp just for damage if I can help it. Right now, I feel like I'm already threatening on the board. I don't need to go that crazy. So he'll play a Tower, get to 4 mana this turn. We'll see if it matters. He'll Lightning Bolt the Scarabs. Good call. And then he'll play Evil Presence. So we're looking at some Spirits. Probably like some Nimbus Djinn action with Sorcerer. Alright, so let's draw a spell. Let's lag a little and then draw a spell. So it's probably, yeah, we'll probably just play Tower and then play the Manticore, I think. Yeah, I'll play the Tower there. I'm thinking like, oh, I don't want to play it like, you know, where there's an Evil Presence, but Evil Presence is something that will always He can always move it later. And then I actually don't... Do I... Okay, yeah, I'll play the Manticore there. It's actually pretty okay because if there's any proximity effects that Sorcerer could have, like maybe he has Polymorph, and I don't want to be nearby Sorcerer for that. But he's going to Chaos Twister my Manticore, and that is a pretty good answer. That'll be his turn, though, so we just kind of go back. We draw a spell. We will tap to draw a sight. And we do see Vesuvius. And that's why I played the tower onto the Evil Presence. Because, one, he can always move the presence later. But I really want Vesuvius near the Sorcerer if I can. And so we're really happy to see that. We place Sandworm there so that he can defend all of our sites where this Evil Presence is in range of. He could be Headless Haunt with charge, would be able to like deal 4 anywhere. The Sandworm will trade with a Haunt. At this point, he has 4 mana, so we're not looking at anything too crazy. There's no Nimbus Djinn yet, no Ghost Ship. But he's got Hippogriffs. And wow, it does not actually use the charge. Which does make sense. If he attacked, the Sandworms would bully him out. We draw Disintegrate, which isn't doing anything right now. I really would love to banish a Spirit. Just in case they are playing Ghost Ship. And especially if they have like Ultimate Horror in the deck. Banish effects are really good against Spirits. But we play that Vesuvius. We do have this Poison Nova with the River of Flame, but then we're kind of killing our own guys. Don't love that. And at this point, we will just play the Imp, kind of put down some pressure. Ask them to do something. We have a very reactive hand, right? We've got removal in hand. We've got Disintegrate, Lightning Bolt, and Poison Nova. So we're trying to just get the best use of that. I did kind of forget that that was an updraft ridge. So those Hippogriffs, they flew. They flew all the way over there. And yeah, we took 3 there. It was a good play. And then they've got another Hippogriffs. We're just going to play it on the color out of space, which is kind of interesting. I feel like the updraft ridge is a good spot for it. We see a Summoning Sphere. That's really cool. No minions to drop. And we're just checking our cemetery. We've got 3 damage in fire minions. Kind of feel like lightning bolting a Hippogriff might be the play. I don't know what else Lightning Bolt would kill in this matchup. We'll attack for 2. We'll see if they want to block. They don't, so we get the damage. And then, yeah, like for 3 damage, I don't know. I'm thinking about like Headless Haunts, right? Like it's kind of a Spirits deck, it looks like, with the Evil Presence. Nimbus Djinn is 4. Ghost Ship is 5. There's no like 3 power Spirits, or I don't know what else they would have at 3 power. So I think just like killing a Hippogriff here is pretty solid with the Lightning Bolt. And then maybe we just drop a summoning sphere. And hope to get some minions. We really want minions. Yeah, we're gonna move up with the Falconer. Keep the Sandworm back. He is like our vanguard. He is, you know, guard of the Citadel. And this Falconer will be in a position, I guess, to like attack the tower if we want to. I guess we're gonna keep the Summoning Sphere. We should tap for a site most certainly. And playing the Summoning Sphere seems good, I guess, unless we're afraid of a disenchant happening. Yeah, we totally should have tapped for a site. There's no reason not to. Or we like could have moved. Move into the desert would have been good. Get in a better position for Poison Nova and Disintegrate. All right, it looks like I caught myself. Asked politely, "Hey, wait." And yeah, there's the Nimbus Djinn, and so he's discarding 2 drowns. He's gonna kill the Sandworm. So now we're happy, and then yeah, he'll crash into me because it has charge. So we deal 13, or he doesn't deal 13. He deals 4. He puts me to 13. And then yeah, my Falcon is tapped, so he can't block. He gets another 3. I'm at 10. It is looking good in the sense Poison Nova or Disintegrate. Thing is, if I Disintegrate Nimbus Djinn, I'm still hurting about this Hippogriff. But I would like to Disintegrate Nimbus Djinn, right? Because it's a spirit. And so for Ghost Ship shenanigans, just getting it out of the cemetery is pretty good. Depending if I move this Falconer or not is really going to say... Alright, so it's going to be a Poison Nova because I'm going to get him out of the range. I'm going to deal 1. Attack for another 2. We'll see. He takes a block, so he's only going to take 1. He should be at 14, I believe. Perhaps I'm incorrect. Maybe he did take the 1. We'll play a Smokestacks. There, we don't want Smokestacks up front because we have Vesuvius and River of Flame on the enemy avatar. So yeah, that Poison Nova like just takes care of it. And then now we'll drop the Summoning Sphere. We have 1 mana. We may as well. And so 1 Nimbus Djinn down. Only 3rd Hippogriff coming at us. We should be at 7. It looks like, yep, there we go, 7. And Evil Presence, very scary. It's not looking good. Infernal Legion with the Summoning Sphere. Ho ho ho. We could do some things here. Infernal Legion can kill the Hippogriffs. If we play them like on the tower. Infernal Legion could also deal 3 to the enemy avatar this turn if we played it like on River of Flame or something. We could move violent, like we could attack the ridge. We could disintegrate. Well, you can't play Infernal Legion and disintegrate this turn. I think it's got to be the Legion. Probably playing it on their tower, kill the Hippogriffs. We still get to attack for 3 with our little dudes. But now we've got like a big guy. I guess I'm worried about a second Nimbus Djinn maybe. But that would be like, you know, that'd be pretty lucky. So it looks like that's what we do. Yeah, we're going to play the Infernal Legion. We're going to hit for 3. And then at end of turn, we will kill the Hippogriffs. We should probably tap for a site. Or we could tap to shoot, I don't know, a decent chunk of damage, right? What is in there? A Sandworm, a Scarab. Manticore, so there's like 4 damage in our cemetery. But like right now we do have 12 damage on board next turn, assuming nothing bad happens. So I guess we can just keep it. A Nimbus Djinn could put me to door. Yeah, okay. So he attacks, and then he just has to discard 1 card. And he'll discard a Thunderstorm. So very insanely lucky that he had both Nimbus Djinns. We do have a Disintegrate. We can get rid of that Nimbus Djinn, and that's really good. Grandmaster Wizard is kind of like okay. I don't know if we're going to play it this turn, though. We need to cast Disintegrate. And again, we have the 12 damage on board. We could just Flamecall shoot to kill. What is it? Nimbus Djinn. We could have just Flamecaller shot him. Yeah, so we're gonna move. I don't know. That's not what I should have done. What happened here? It looks like I attacked River Flame and we didn't track that. That was my site. I should have attacked Updraft Ridge and then. Yeah, no, I totally misplayed here. We'll see if I don't know if that tracked and like I'm on. If I put him to door this turn or if. And then I kind of tank a little because this was like my play, and I was talking about I'm dead to. He's got 3 cards in hand. We know one of them is Evil Presence, and if he has a Headless Haunt plus Lightning Bolt, the Headless Haunt has charge. He could Lightning Bolt my site, and assuming like it doesn't kill me, he can just get rid of the Salamander. Okay, so he did go to door too. So yeah, totally. I can't attack my own River of Flame, but I did have him to door anyways if we just checked the site differently. But he had the exact 3 cards that I was worried about, where he Lightning Bolts. If it kills my Salamander, I'm open to an Evil Presence Headless Haunt, and he has the exact mana to do so. 2, 2, and 3. It adds up to 7. So pretty unlucky there. But it was a good game, really close. And we'll go to the next one. All right, so we're back again, facing the same opponent from the first game. And I'm going to assume maybe it's the same deck. Again, kind of similar opening hand to the first game, too. Mulligan, Blink, and Strider. We'll keep the Dragonettes. Going to keep that Ruins, Mulligan the rest, looking for our Uniques. And 1 more air attunement. All right, we see the 1 air. No uniques, bit sad, but you know, we'll draw more throughout the game. We get another blink and a lightning bolt. Keeping the Dragonettes. So opponent's gonna start off with a desert. And they're contemplating. Oh, they're not going to start with a desert. They're going to start with an oasis. And then they'll play a ruby core, giving them 2 fire. And it'll go to us. We'll probably draw a spell for turn, I think. Because we can play these ruins out without worry. Sometimes I'll draw a site if like I have a lot of deserts and I'm like, I really don't want to play a desert here. But yeah, having the ruins means we'll draw a spell. We see a Disintegrate, always good to have. And there it is, Vesuvius. It's alive already because of that ruby core. He'll play Awakened Mummies burrowed underneath it. And 2 Awakened Mummies burrowed underneath. And I'm going to assume that we're doing the same stuff here with the mummies from the first game. I've never played with the mummies. I'm pretty sure that like the FAQ says that like, I don't know, there's like special rules for like the word burrowed safely. And that you can't just like move them willy-nilly. But it is what it is. I'm here to have fun. So we'll play that Ruins. Just looking to, get to 3 so we can play out these Dragonettes. Hopefully, like, Lightning Bolt a Mummy. I don't want to trade a Dragonette for a Mummy. And then he's got a Pit Vipers, which he's going to play on the surface. And that's great because it's going to give us some use out of these deserts. We're going to get to kill those. And then we can play the Dragonettes. And they'll get to just, like, shoot a little 1 damage at the opponent. And, like, let them know that we mean business. So, yeah, we get rid of those Vipers. And then we're going to play Dragonettes. And all these 1-drop, opponent has played 4 1-drops. And it's like, you look at the hand comparison here. Now he's playing Sorcerer, so he's gonna like come back from it. But I mean, he has a sight, and like that's it. Alright, so he's gonna draw a spell. He's got 4 mana. He could totally tap for another spell if he's like playing like super low curve like this. Although I kind of forget what else was in his deck. Did he have like big dudes? Alright, he's gonna move 1 mummy up. And yep, just 1. So might just lightning bolt that dude. Get him out of there. Shoot him again for 1 with the Dragonettes. I don't want to attack. Like, I don't want to... Oh, double lightning bolt. So we're just like killing these mummies, man. Like, they're not getting involved with the dragons. I like just the lightning bolt, deal the 1, kind of just pass. We tapped for a sight, so doing good. Playing the slow game. Which is kind of what I want this deck to be able to do. I'm a lot of like, your mind might go to just like, oh, it's like aggro when it's like fire, but I kind of want it to be a bit like control-y, using the damage based using the damage spells for removal, and just like building up to get like that combo with the Prophet. And then, okay, so he'll shoot fire bolts. He will get my Dragonettes. Very nice. And then he's going to unburrow those mummies, and they're going to be met with a lightning bolt, I tell ya. We'll untap. We'll draw a spell. We have no issues playing this Ruins. We see Sandworm. That's pretty cool. We could even play that this turn. He'll body block the mummies just fine. Play the Ruins there. I'm not exactly sure why. I think I'm saving that spot for a desert. I think in case he starts playing units over there, we have a nice spot in our front row for like a desert to do a ping. That might have been what I was thinking at the time. And so now it's like, yeah, Sandworm or Lightning Bolt. And I opt for the Sandworm. He can body block the mummies. He could technically like blow up the Vesuvius after he attacks to kill the Sandworm, but he'd put himself down a sight, so I'd be okay with it. Like, please do that. He's gonna play a Mirage, not for any special play. He's just playing it for a sight, and it puts him at 6, which is a lot. And he's gonna infiltrate my Sandworm, which is really rude in my opinion. Because now these mummies can attack, and I gotta figure out a way to get my Sandworm back. I don't have any answers to stealth in this deck. Which, like I was saying in the intro, probably like, yeah, some watchtowers in place of the shifting sands. Alright, so we'll untap. I think we'll draw a sight. Maybe we'll, yeah, no, maybe we'll draw a sight because 5 lets us do Strider plus Lightning Bolt. But playing this desert's not going to do anything for us. We've only got the Dragonets in our cemetery, so we can't blast these mummies. Unfortunately, playing the desert taps us, so we couldn't go like desert plus banish for 2. We're going to play that desert there because, you know, we see this as a fire deck. I don't want to give him a site adjacent to me where he can start playing imps and kobolds and just like hammering down on me. We do kind of like what we were planning. We Lightning Bolt and Strider for 5 total mana this turn. Strider won't be able to defend against the Sandworm, and that's fine. I wouldn't want him to. I'm going to just have to take 4 damage from this Infiltrate. And he actually opts to bounce my Sandworm to his hand. No, he's moving the Sandworm back, so maybe he's actually willing to use it as a blocker. At the very least, I mean, I don't know if he would know I have no answers to stealth, but I don't. And then he Bane Widows, so that was the play. He's gonna go Sandworm, or he's gonna infiltrate it, and move it on his site, and then Bane Widow it. I'm totally cool with that. That Bane Widow now. If we can like draw a desert for turn, that would be so cool because we can like pop that Bane Widow. Looks like we're actually just gonna draw a spell though. Summoning Sphere is really good with this Infernal Legion. Vesuvius is really good. Good draws there, but we don't have much to do. Much to do about nothing. Outback Strider can do the dash and kill the Bane Widow. He could also just attack for 3. It looks like we're gonna do the dash, and we will kill the Widow. Which is always very nice. I love that about Strider. I think it's totally just drop this Summoning Sphere, get ready for next turn, and we can play the Infernal Legion right on top of the Avatar and like make him deal with it. We're just holding on to this blink. You never know when it will matter. He plays a Summer River. He's going to scry, and he will put that on top. Okay, so he'll play Fate Changeling. It'll bounce my Strider. That's like okay. I don't hate that. It does slow me down a little bit, especially because I want to play this Legion next turn. And now, like, I could play that Legion on the river or on Vesuvius to be able to deal 3 and kill the Changeling, and then, like, still have the Legion up. I think playing Vesuvius above our ruins on the left is good because it's going to be able to threaten damage to 2 of his sites if he plays units on him. We got a Lightning Bolt. Always good to have those. Yep, so we'll play the Vesuvius there. Any unit on his desert or river Oh, it looks like we're gonna hold on the Legion. We'll just replay our Strider. That's interesting. That might have been a mistake on my part. Because opponent only has one card in hand, so unless it's like, you know, the answer, like we're feeling pretty good. And we're still getting something out of the Legion this turn if we just dropped him. Like we could save the Strider for a turn where we can play 2 spells. But like the fact that we just played Strider is kind of... It might be like I'm waiting for the opponent to like overextend a bit, play more minions, and get just like a bigger like turn with the Legion. So it looks like he will attack for 1. Now I can block. And okay, yep. So that's why he did that, because he wanted to Violent the Strider. So he does that, gets it good. And now, yeah, we're gonna draw a spell. Probably tap for a sight because we don't have any in hand. We see another blink at this. So once you got 2 blinks, now I'm like I could cycle 1, but I totally just want to play this Infernal Legion. Like that's definitely what I'm doing this turn. Looks like I was searching my cemetery, seeing how much damage I have there before I decide to tap for a sight. We get River of Flame, which is awesome, especially if we can play that right over Vesuvius. It gives us like a really good zone for a spellcaster. Although we actually don't like have fire bolts or anything, but it doesn't mean our opponent wouldn't expect it and play around it. Yeah, so we drop the Infernal Legion right on that river. It kills the imp. It puts 3 on the enemy, and then we pass. He's going for the draw 2. And he's got the Polymorph. That was the 1 card in hand. So good on him for having the answer. And then he'll play Bridge Troll. Who's a very scary dude. Probably he's just gonna get this lightning bolt. Like without a doubt. Ooh, and we see Doomsday Prophet. So now we're cooking. Now we're in big business. Because he's at 15. We've got line of sight on the opponent. I don't know exactly how much is in our cemetery, but we're doubling it. And it's almost like now, you know, we play River of Flame. We get to 7. We're tapped, which is unfortunate. But like next turn, we could play Prophet, shoot, and then have Lightning Bolt as well. But with this Bridge Troll around, can I risk, like, you know, if he's got Mask of Mayhem or something, he might just like take all my mana next turn, and then I can't do anything. So I gotta just get rid of this Bridge Troll, and I will Lightning Bolt. And then with that said, I think we could probably cycle a blink here, see if there's any more damage that we could dig for. A Vile Imp or something would be really nice to pair with the Doomsday Prophet. We don't get it. We got a salamander. But the salamander could feed our cemetery. So if we play that and we play it near Vesuvius, we could actually just like blow Vesuvius up and kill our salamander. And like with the Prophet, that's going to be 4 damage, right? Because he's 2 attunement. I'd like to see if I search my cemetery again so I know exactly how much damage we're looking at. Opponent's at 15, so we're going to need 8 attunement in our cemetery in order to deal 16. All right, so we've got Dragonets, Strider, and Sarum. So we have 5. Okay, he's going to kill my Salamander. That's 7. So we're at 14. We have 14 damage with the Doomsday Prophet. So we really need a little bit more damage. He's going to Firebolt me. That's fine. Violimp there. So Vesuvius can kill it. If we can get a 2-mana unit to kill with Vesuvius, so a Scarab, an Imp, or a Salamander, or even like a Lightning Bolt. I don't know how many. Have we used all 3 this game? Oh my! And we get the Imp. So Imp is actually like perfect because we don't even need to kill it with Vesuvius. Like we could, but just the Genesis is gonna be enough. We actually still might, because when we do this, we play Prophet, we shoot for, what was it, 14? Yeah, that's 3, 5, 7. So that's going to be 14 damage once we cast Prophet. We could play the Vile Imp. All right, well, let's slow down. So we're playing the Prophet. We are tapping Flamecaller. We're shooting a projectile. We got 7 attunement in the cemetery. Doomsday Prophet is going to double this damage. So opponent is going to take 14, go down to 1. Then this Vile Imp, if we play him on the river, we can zap him for like 4, honestly, because of the Imp. But, we might flip Vesuvius now. Yeah, so we kill his Vile Imp. We're going to put our Prophet in the cemetery so that we've got ammo again. And then we can just Imp him on the river to put him at door. And now he's got a unit adjacent to him. And we've got ammo in our cemetery, so he's got to deal with this unit, and he's got a break line of sight. And we have a blink in hand, which is very helpful for like getting the chase kill. So we'll see. He drew a spell for turn. He can always tap for another. He's worried about that River of Flame because a Firebolt or a Fireball, like any major explosion, although I could just get him with like a major explosion too. Yeah, he's got like a lot to worry about. He doesn't know that like I don't have Firebolts in this deck, but you know, it's pretty like you would expect to see Firebolts in this kind of deck. So he got rid of the Imp with an Immolation. He's got to break line of sight. He could just move, and obviously he doesn't like that because then he's near the River of Flame. But it's kind of like, you know that I have line of sight on you right now. You don't know that I have anything to do with this River of Flame. So you should just like play into like the chance rather than like the guarantee loss. And then yeah, we untap. Now we got the Dragonets off the top, but like even with the movement, we had the blink so that we could just move there and shoot. And we banish the Prophet and the Doomsday, the Prophet and the Violimp for 3 damage on his door. And the Dragonets would have done the same thing. So good game.